So, today we're going to talk about song development in birds and how, you may be surprised to know, the songs of most songbird species are learned, not completely instinctual, which is what we used to think. So I'd like to start off things today by centering our discussion on the chaffinch. The chaffinch is a type of European songbird, and we're going to use the chaffinch's song development as illustrative of songbird song development in general, because many other songbirds follow this same pattern, this pattern of learning songs. Okay, so soon after hatching, baby chaffinches start producing these begging sounds, begging calls actually, which basically are a message to the parents saying, "Feed me, feed me." That's all for about the first 5 weeks, until they grow feathers and start getting ready to fly, become fledglings. And then those calls, those begging sounds, are replaced by, how babies, human babies, how they make that baby babbling sound, like little soft vocalized murmurings? Well, that's pretty much similar to the noises that fledgling chaffinches make at this next stage of development, which is called subsong. Subsong makes sense, right? Because sub means below, and so the subsong is below or happens before their mature song, right? It's an immature or underdeveloped song, a baby song. Makes sense? Okay, now they're not begging for food anymore with the subsong. So what do you figure they're making these soft murmurings for? Well, it's at this stage, what we call early subsong, that, and this is important, the chaffinch's subsong begins to provide auditory feedback from which the chaffinch learns. And so self-learning is taking place because the fledgling hears itself calling out, hears the sounds it's making, hears its subsong. And so it's kind of comparing it to the parent song. And so self-learning is taking place through this process. Get it? All right. Now, as the chaffinch gets a little older, it enters into what could be called late subsong, where parts of its subsong start sounding more and more like its parent song. And we have the next step in song development taking place in late subsong. That is, the introduction of plastic song within the subsong. Plastic song referring to, I don't have to write that on the board, do I? Referring to the parts of the subsong that sound like the parent song. Plastic song. Does that sound a little strange to you? Well, keep in mind that plastic has formative implications. It can mean like growth or development into something, like what the chaffinch's song is doing. It's developing into its parent song. It's not quite fully realized yet. It doesn't sound precisely like its parent song. Remember, this is still the subsong stage we're talking about, but it is on its way. The fledgling is still learning, imitating parts of its parent song, just not quite the whole thing yet. So, the fledgling gets older, and now it's winter, and during the winter, the young chaffinch doesn't practice its singing. But in the spring, the chaffinch starts back up again, singing and practicing, and this time there is more of an emergence of plastic song, a stronger presence of it within the subsong. And so thereby, the parent song is growing increasingly more recognizable and distinct. Follow? Then, after about a month, the young chaffinch's song crystallizes into what's called full song, and exact song the adults sing. So, full song's a full-blown imitation of the adult's song, all right? Now, what's interesting is that chaffinches are able to complete this process even from only a short exposure to their parents' song. Exposure during the first few weeks of life is really all they need, and after that they can remember it, even though they need quite a bit of practice to produce it accurately themselves. So, the theory is that there is a sensitive period in the chaffinch's early life, its early development, a special sensitive period during which it learns what its song should sound like. So chaffinches, along with many other birds, learn songs early in life, and when they become adults, they don't change their songs. It's a copy of the parent song, like we said, okay?